It's been a minute, but we got to get to it, man. Welcome to the Ultimate Browns. And guess what? We got a war of the words. Right now, the Baltimore Ravens is out here looking back like, who? I know little bro ain't talking. I know little bro ain't talking spicy. We got an episode for you today. Grant Delpit is on record. Jerry Jeudy is on record. And the Cleveland Browns media has been kind of salty about this whole 30th anniversary. But I'm going to tell you why it might actually be time for us to move on. And I'm going to give you the steps of how to move on. And we'll come back and do it on the fastest 30 minutes of all time. It don't really be 30 minutes, though. It'll be like whenever I get done talking, it'll be more than 30 minutes. Right here on the Ultimate Browns. Welcome to the fastest 30 minutes in all of sports. I'm your boy G Bush right here with the Ultimate Browns. We usually do it Tuesday. We're ready to go. We got you ready to go, locked and loaded on Thursday. We ready to go. We ready to move. And we got a great show planned for us. The Ravens, Browns coming up. And it looked like this rivalry we want to get a little spicy, man. The Browns can beat the Ravens by doing this. We'll come up and give you those keys to victory and what I think the Browns need to do to get a dub coming up here against the Ravens. Hey, heroes aren't born, they are made. We are always looking for a hero somewhere. The Cleveland Browns stay looking for heroes, stay looking for somebody. The quarterback is in 26. We need to get a guy. We all this hero talk, heroes are not born, they are made. I'll tell you what I mean by that. And finally, and we'll get to this, do the Cleveland Browns and the fans and the media have to move on? Well, look. This all stems, and this conversation stems from this, right? We'll take a look. We'll take a look what this all stems from here, and it's this celebration. So this is from the Dogs podcast, and they talk about the Cleveland Browns, and a lot of people are talking about it on 92.3 The Fan, a lot of different other places around the world. They're talking about this. So the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens are taking on each other, and it's getting a little chippy. And it all stems from this Browns Ravens, this 30th anniversary celebration. So the Ravens have decided to have their 30-year celebration since the Browns moved to Baltimore on the day that they play the Browns in Baltimore. Man, I hate the Ravens. And as you can see, they got people coming back. They got giveaways. They got a flyover. They got introductions. They got legend of the game. Ozzie Newsome is there. The new look shop. They got all these things moving around and shaking with the Baltimore Ravens, right? Everybody is moving around. Everybody's excited about it. And let me tell you what. People is upset about this. Guys is going off about it. We had, let's see if we can get to this. Let me see if I got it. We'll make sure I got it. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if it's in here. Here it go. This is courtesy of 92.3 The Fan. Let's see if we can get this and put this in.
I think it's kind of horse, you know what, that they're doing this against the Browns. I understand that they probably wanted to do it in their season opener, and I get that. But, I mean, did you really have to pick the Cleveland game to do this? Is that, I mean, you want to talk about just like poking the bear on something. And the problem I have with the whole thing is that I care, people my age care, anyone that rooted for the Browns more than 30 years ago cares. I just think it's a real move on the Ravens to do this against the Browns. I just think tacky is like the word I'm trying to use. I can't be alone in the way I feel about the fact that what a bunch of clowns the Ravens are. Yes, good organization. Yes, we love Ozzie, but for what he did in Cleveland. But, I mean, did they really have to pick this game to celebrate their 30th season? That's a giant middle finger to all of you. I'm sorry, Jeff. It bothers me. That's just classless. You couldn't have picked any other game. No, let's do the game against Cleveland.
See, now this is why you need G. Bush to talk to you. You know, some of you may think I'm a little over the top and I'm a little extra, but this is the reason why G. Bush needs to talk to you. You know, a couple of years ago, Apple and they had the Obi-Wan, right? Let me know in the chat if y'all watched the Obi-Wan, right? And Obi-Wan is going against Darth Vader at the end of the movie, and Obi-Wan has damaged Darth Vader again. And Darth Vader is sitting there looking at Obi-Wan, and he has a half mask on because Obi-Wan is kind of, hit him with the lightsaber, and he's telling him, "I'm sorry, Anakin. I'm so sorry." And Darth Vader says something that was very powerful. He said, "What you knew of Anakin is gone. He's gone. Anakin is gone. All you see that remains is me." And for a while, I listened to it, and I was like, "Okay, what you talking about?" And he turns around and says, "You didn't kill Anakin. I did." And when you let that sink in a little bit, you kind of understand the level of it. All that's left with Anakin is hate, rage, and he's consumed by darkness. The person you once knew is not there anymore. The problem with the Cleveland Browns is they've never gotten over the situation with the Browns and them moving to Baltimore. And what people don't tell them, and the NFL did them one major disservice, when they gave them back the Browns' colors, their history, they created an oxymoron. They created a conundrum. They created a vault, a time vault that you have to live in now. Because instead of saying the Cleveland Browns that you once knew are not here anymore, they moved on, they chose to change their name, here's what you are now, it keeps you living perpetually in the past. And it's great that you have the level of the history. It's great that you got the names and the colors and all that good stuff. But you're still stuck in a place in which you can never move forward because we continue to go backwards and talk about the Baltimore Ravens as if they are the Cleveland Browns. They are not. They don't care about the Cleveland Browns. When we talk, and we talk about what the Ravens are doing, we talk about the Ravens as if they owe you something. They're no longer the Cleveland Browns. They don't care about them taking your team. They don't care about any of that. All they care about is getting these dubs and winning. The ownership is gone. As a matter of fact, Bernie was on the show today, and David Modell, I believe it was his son. His son is no longer with us. Art Modell is no longer with us. I mean, they 3 generations in. Jim Short says something earlier today. He said, our players probably won't think about it. Their players won't think about it. It ain't going to change them tackling Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson. And what I got to do is I got to give it to you straight. Sometimes it's tough to deal with it straight like this. The problem with the Cleveland Browns is they are stuck in a place where we like to feel sorry for ourselves. We like to feel as if we're the victims here. Let me tell you, ain't no victims in football. Ain't no victims. There's no, if you think the Baltimore Ravens are going to, come out and show out and say this was a classless move and they want to celebrate their 30 years anniversary, you know why they feel comfortable in celebrating on you? Because they win. We still do not get it. We still don't get it. And trust me, this is the crazy part about it. I tell you all the time, all our greats, the Jim Donovans, the Casey Colemans, the Nev Chandlers, the Jim Browns, those people come, go, and they came and went without seeing no wins. They came and went without seeing no wins. And when we talk about the Browns leaving in 95, those are the same Browns that are here in 99. When they got back in 99, that was a different organization, different people, different mindset. And until you go out and you tell yourself, What we care about is these dubs and these wins and what we are doing. You'll never beat the Baltimore Ravens. The thing that I got the problem with is we got more energy level. We got more energy. We got more rhetoric. We got more tone. We got more everything for the ball for them leaving the city, right? What is it? How many years ago is that? 30 years ago? 30 years ago, we got more energy than that. But when we talk about the kicker, and him missing field goals, it's man, a poor kid. I feel sorry for him, man. He's just a tough outing. Tough, very tough. Listen, go watch the interview with Bernie today. I challenge you. Go out and watch it. And watch the way he talks about the way football was played when he was playing. It wasn't you was scared. You was getting, if you didn't do what you needed to do, you was gone. And I'm glad Bernie comes on and talks that talk, because then it don't have to look like I'm knee-jerk guy. I just turn on the mic. That's why I like listening to him talk. I just turn it on and just just go ahead, Bernie. Talk, say your stuff. Because he was there. He was in it. And he was the last great one to do it. We better cherish that. He is the last one that was putting them points on the board. Right? So when he say it, I just sit back and just chill. Here's your part. Here's your problem, people. You got more energy talking about, when are you going to stop playing a victim? They left. They won Super Bowls. They continue to win Super Bowls. They keep getting quarterbacks. They keep recruiting. They keep developing, and they in your division. They're not going nowhere. How many times are you going to be the kid, or are you going to let a bully beat you up and laugh, and you sit in the corner and not take it? When are you going to decide to say, I'm going to school and listen, we ain't taking that today. Not from him. But we got more energy for the 30th anniversary and them celebrating it. The victors is always going to get the spoils. When you win Super Bowls, you always going to get the last laugh. That's why when I sit up here on these panels in UCSS and I talk and I'm angry and I'm like, what are we going to do about this? And people tell me our quarterback's in 26. You can't say your quarterback in 26 and the kicker should get all kind of reprieves and then turn on the microphone and say, why are they picking on us? They're just they're making fun of. Yeah, they are. This is part of the rules. They've been making fun of you. This is what I'm saying. When you make arguments like that, when you consistently don't want to, you kick the can down the road, when your organization won't do certain things, when they won't develop, when they act like they don't have any clue about what they're doing, you can't get mad that other teams clown you. What are you going to do about it? Like that's football, right? You can either decide I'm not going to be the butt of your jokes no more. We can decide that we're going to coach this thing hard. We ain't taking no concessions. We're going to go out there and do what we need to do. And every single game, we better fight like it's our last breath. If you're not doing that, then you can't complain about who gets to celebrate on you. Newsflash, they've been celebrating for 30 years. We've decided not to do anything. Just like Anakin in the Jedi collection, if you know anything about Star Wars, Jedi's got their tails kicked for years in the Empire. Still waiting on maybe Anakin's somewhere underneath that mask. And no. At some point, you got to say, I'm sorry what happened to you, Anakin, but listen, I'm not going to be no victim. You're not going to wipe every Jedi off the face of the earth if I'm standing here. But there's a level of arrogance. There's a level of cachet that you got to bring to the table. That's why I don't got no problems with some of the comments that we've heard, right? I don't got no problems with this right here. Now we're going to explain them. I don't got no problems with this. This segment going to be longer. It is what it is. I don't got no problem with this. Brown star receiver Jerry Jeudy on the challenges of facing the Ravens secondary. No challenges. Expect fireworks on Sunday from Cleveland's offense. I didn't know you had to be shirtless too. Shirtless Jerry Jeudy, is that a thing? When Myles Garrett come out shirtless, that means he got to have 2-3 sacks. Jerry, I have no problem with you saying that this is what you got to get done. Here's my problem. You better back it up. You better back it up. You can't have drop footballs that hit you in the numbers. If you're going to be shirtless Jerry Jeudy, you better cook. You better be in the kitchen, whipping that work. You better get to it. If that's the end, I like the energy level, right? But you got to follow through with it. We got to follow through. We can't have you out here looking crisp with the single digit and the white gloves, dropping the ball. What are we doing? This is the level of it that you need to get to. This is the expectation level that you got to have. Maybe he ain't the only one. Maybe he ain't the only one. Let me talk about this dude. He tried to step his game. He done lost his mind a little bit. I had to, Bull said this earlier today, I had to question what was going on. Browns safety Grant Delpit isn't worried about trying to tackle Derrick Henry. And the Browns Twitter doubled down on it. They showed a nice little hit last year. Not hard. Browns DB Grant Delpit on tackling Derrick Henry. I love the energy, but Grant, you better back it up. Don't come out here half-stepping. Don't come out here, listen, I told people, listen, Derrick Henry puts people on T-shirts. Flowers be on people's blocks. He's like, it's the Hunger Games, District 13. Put it in. Don't let him put the 9 in the air. Don't let your jersey number be in the air like the Hunger Games. Grant Delpit is no longer with us. You see what I'm saying? I like the energy level. If that's the energy level that you guys want to have, so be it, like the clip say. So be it. But here's the problem. Unless the Cleveland Browns get to a point, now let me explain this very clearly. Nobody gives you anything, no concessions. You must take respect. You must take what you want. And until the Cleveland Browns consistently are putting a football team on the field and guys in that locker room understand that I'm willing to come with it at all costs, nobody's gonna, they're gonna throw 30, they're gonna have birthday parties for the Cleveland Browns. They're gonna have 50-year-old reunions. They got their class reunions coming up. They throw baby showers on the Cleveland Browns. There's Easter egg hunts with the Cleveland Browns. Maybe it's the first day of school father's walk with the Cleveland Browns. They schedule all kinds of things. Maybe it's the corporate happy hour. Maybe it's the couples retreat. They're going to schedule all that on you, bro. Either you're going to take it or you're not. But it's time out for people. This is classless. No, it ain't. That ain't football. You know what they respect? Coming out here in the Cleveland Browns beating their tail. Coming out here and be like, yeah, matter of fact, not splitting. You ain't happy with splitting. You happy with getting both of them. I guarantee they won't schedule nothing. You keep beating them twice in a year? No, they're not going to come out here. Sorry. One thing that I will say, and we move this conversation forward, is when we talk about one of the things that get me about the Browns and how they can move on from this, and when we get to it, we got to understand heroes are not born, they are made. We'll explain what I'm talking about when we come back. We'll do it coming up here, right here on The Ultimate Browns. every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live with player props, performance trends, same-game parlays. Fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up in the biggest moments, and how could tracking their trends help you build your next big bet? What would it look like to combine live prop bets mid-game based on how action unfolds? How could a $200 bonus in bonus bets add to the excitement if your first $5 bet hits? New to FanDuel? It's a perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com/UCSS and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes of sports. Your boy G. Bush right here with the Ultimate Browns. Let me get back into this thing. First and foremost, we appreciate you in the chat. We will get to all your comments at the end of the show. We'll definitely get to them. Make sure you got it. Matter of fact, what I want is why you are in the chat. I need keys to victory for the Cleveland Browns. We will be coming up later in the show doing that. Keys to victory for the Cleveland Browns coming up later in the show. First and foremost, if you didn't miss it, we started with this. This is courtesy of 92.3 The Fans, and this is what we're doing throughout the show. At some point, we're gonna have to stop talking about it, and we're gonna have to be about it. The Ravens is talking extra heavy. It's 30 years for the Baltimore Ravens, and guess what? We got to figure out what we need to do about it and go about getting this win.
I think it's kind of horse, that they're doing this against the Browns. I understand that they probably wanted to do it in their season opener. And I get that. But, did you really have to pick the Cleveland game to do this? You want to talk about just like poking the bear on something. And the problem I have with the whole thing is that I care. People my age care. Anyone that rooted for the Browns more than 30 years ago cares. I just think it's a real move on the Ravens to do this against the Browns. I just think tacky is like the word I'm trying to use. I can't be alone in the way I feel about the fact that what a bunch of clowns the Ravens are. Yes, good organization. Yes, we love Ozzie, but for what he did in Cleveland. But did they really have to pick this game to celebrate their 30th season? That's a giant middle finger to all of you. I'm sorry, Jeff. It bothers me. That's just classless. You couldn't have picked any other game. No, let's do the game against Cleveland.
Nope, they had to. They had to get you. Yeah, they want you. But you're supposed to want it no other way, right? Yeah, they did that to you. It's time. They did that to you. Accept it, embrace it. Well, what you gonna do about it? One thing that the Cleveland Browns they can learn from the Baltimore Ravens is this. So many Browns fans say this, right? It's bad luck. It's why does this happen to us? And we'll always meet. The first thing that they do, I'm a big therapy guy. I've been in therapy quite some time. I'm a huge therapy guy. You know what they say? You know what, G. Bush? You got to take responsibility for some of the things that you've had and take responsibility for what you do. You can't make it excuses for everybody. You can't go back and hash out some of the things happened to you, and all of a sudden, in every story, you're the victim. No. You got to take responsibilities for that. One of the things I used to always talk about, and it's a running thing with me, I got all these relationships. All these relationships went bad, and what did they do, and what did my ex do, and this, and then they say, well, listen, if those warning signs were there, why did you date that person? You consistently talk to the same type of people. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that you seem to have some of the same baggage that you bring from play? Now, I know, don't click off, because, some of y'all ain't, you ain't made it to therapy yet. I'll pray for you. But here goes the thing. There's a consistent thing that happens with the Cleveland Browns, and we see it all the time. We tend to have this thing about the football gods and they're looking down on us and they don't like what we're doing and the football gods did this to us and we can't find our guy and our guy ain't here and we got to find a quarterback. This person ain't it. This person ain't it. You got to start to realize maybe you are playing some role in that. What are the reasons that the Baltimore Ravens are where they are? And I would always tell people is when you roll the dice and you hit and you put and you gamble and you hit it big, you are going to win. You won that deal. You're gonna get when you double down on something, when you playing blackjacks and you split them aces and you double down and say I'm doubling down on this, and when you hit and you hit big, you get an opportunity. Case in point, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, when he came out of college, there were multiple people. Hey, I heard McShay. I heard all of the prognosticators. That the hindsight is 2020. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is multiple MVP and he is what he is. But they told him to go play receiver. When Bill Polian, I just think you put him at receiver. Listen, I got the names and the receipts. I got the videos. You seen him. I ran this episode in the Barbershop. You seen it. Nobody wasn't trying to get the Baltimore Ravens took Joe Flacco. Now watch how this works. No disrespect to Joe Flacco. I thought he played well last week. There's levels to it though. When the Baltimore Ravens felt Joe Flacco was done, finito, they had a first-round pick. Guess who they took? With the last pick in the first round, they took Lamar Jackson. Trajectory of the business, take off. Trajectory of the business, take off. When you hit on something, like when you got a business plan, a business model, and you hit on it, Uber, take off. when you got something and you got a special formula, and you just keep that formula, hey, can't nobody mess with that. Honey baked ham. Hey, listen, I know you make ham at home. Ain't nothing like a honey baked ham. You got that spice rub, took off. You can't do nothing about it. You look who the teams that played a couple weeks ago. The Buffalo Bills, and the Baltimore Ravens, both Super Bowl contenders. Guess what? They took Josh Allen. Took off. A lot of people didn't like Josh Allen. He went to Wyoming. Look at his completion percentage. Didn't play against nobody. They took the challenge. Now, the problem is this. In that same draft, you took Baker Mayfield. Evaluations matter. What you do with the player matters. The Cleveland Browns, there's no way around it. The Cleveland Browns made the evaluation, and there's a couple of things that go into it. Baker Mayfield is a different quarterback now than he was back then because he had to sit down a few times. People forget about the Panthers. People forget about the Rams. He lost 13 some odd $13 million because his own people got him for that bread. He had to figure it out, went from ups, downs. That changed who he is. But to see, the thing is, heroes are not born. They are made. You don't just get a guy riding in on some steed that's going to change your trajectory. And the coaches don't got to do nothing. The front office don't got to put nobody around them. You don't have to take no chances. All you got to do is draft them, put them in, and just let them work. That's a lie. That's a fallacy. You're not going to beat none of these teams and get to where you want to go unless you are putting a little skin in the game. You got to have some skin in the game. You got to do some developing, some mixing, some something. And this is just a reminder, no matter who you like, Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders, right? No, it don't matter who you like, right? We talked to Bernie today. He said this myth that you just sit a dude on a bench and let him watch somebody and he's supposed to be good. This is why I like it. Come on over here and keep educating, Bernie. Come on over here. Because every time you pull up, you got some gems. You dropping jewels on them. This development thing, y'all got this misnomer. Oh, you develop. You got to let them develop. If you put a bag of food in the microwave and don't hit the start button, is that going to cook it? If you put a frozen turkey in the oven and never put them in the fire, does that mean it's going to cook? No, you're going to be sitting there with a frozen turkey. The only way you cook and you develop and you heat up is you got to have action. You got to have doing. You got to have movement. You got to have some friction, some heat. Guys, it's the way life works. It's irrefutable. You're going to go through some growing pains. The Baltimore Ravens did. You're going to go through some growing pains. They did with Lamar Jackson, but guess what they got? Multiple-time MVP. And every time he steps on the football field, he gives you an opportunity to do what? Win. Hey, Josh Allen, every single time he steps onto that football field, let me know if I'm lying. You tell me what fallacy I'm giving you right here. This is straight facts. Nothing but facts. So my thing is this. The Cleveland Browns is the action that we need from them. Not the saying, it's the action. You got to go out and get it. Now that we've talked about, just a little subliminally, why the Baltimore Ravens are where they are, because guess what? They hit big. The Bills, they hit big. The Chiefs, they hit big. Joe Burrow and them, they hit big. So next time, this is a reminder. So next year, when we're getting around to doing something, realize you're playing football with the guy the Baltimore Ravens deemed wasn't good enough. Now, Joe's good to win some games, and I think Joe will give them the best opportunity to win a game this week. But I'm just giving you a little food for thought as we move forward in life. Remember, guys don't walk in and become saviors. The organization and people around them actually have to do something. And that's a little easier. And it's a little more difficult than people want to throw out there. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy. But let me tell you about this coming up. People say, G. Bush, I miss the Kool-Aid. I miss the optimism. When is like, what happened to that happy-go-lucky guy? Or you completely jaded that you can't even show us a way the Cleveland Browns can win? Hey, I'll tell you what, I ain't completely dead. I told you about Anakin. G. Bush is still in there somewhere. I'm going to see if I can pull it out in this next segment. You're listening to The Ultimate Browns. Well, you know about the Ultimate Browns. You know how we do. We're going to give it to you. We're going to give you it to you how we give it up here, and we're going to give it to you, Ultimate Browns. We're going to give you, make sure you check it out. Make sure you subscribe to Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as we keep up with all things Cleveland Browns. I'm the guy to lead the troops. And by the way, we return. My OU Bobcats, we got to win. I was in the building. Thank you for the athletic department for showing G. Bush so much love. It was great being back in the stadium. I saw so many people. And by the way, Southern Ohio, Browns fans are large and in charge. I had West Virginia people coming up to me saying, G. Bush, I love this show. If you're here, how come? That means ain't no Barbershop today. Well, don't forget, Barbershop returns 9 a.m. on Saturday. We ready to cook. We'll get you ready to go for the Browns coming up with the Ravens. And don't forget, the post-game show, as always. Make sure that's the place to be to tune in after Browns Ravens. G. Bush got you locked all week right here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show Network. Welcome back to the fastest 30 minutes in sport. Ain't really about 30, but, I give or take here. You're listening to the Ultimate Browns. Let's get it ready. Matter of fact, if you're in the chat, man, get it going. I need the keys to victory. We'll go over the keys to victory right now for the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to let you know, get your Kool-Aid cups ready, what the Cleveland Browns need to do in order to get this win. And if you want to be part of that, make sure you put it in the chat. We will go over your victory. If you're in the chat right now, give me your final score. Also, give me keys to victory. We will do that coming up here in one moment. Let's talk about this. Now, we talked with Bernie. I thought Joe Flacco played well. I thought the thing what Zach Jackson said, and I talk about this all the time, there's a difference between the future and what you got for the future and today. And sometimes your future goals ain't the today goals, right? And in the today goals, and in terms of getting everything together for the Cleveland Browns to win this weekend, I'm going to tell you what they need to do. When you look at what the Cleveland Browns do best, they like to tell you. They like to tell you we're a running team. They like to tell you we're going to run the ball with the running backs. But I told you last week, the best opportunity for the Cleveland Browns to win that football game was to use the deep ball with Joe Flacco. Jerry Jeudy's attitude and his spiciness when it talk about the secondary tells me a couple of things. It tells me Joe Flacco is fired up a little bit, and it tells me that they don't respect the Baltimore Ravens deep. I feel like they have something dialed up a little bit. I think Joe seems a little irritated with the Baltimore Ravens as well. Keep in mind, I just told you a whole scheme about Lamar Jackson. That ties into right now. Joe Flacco was replaced by Lamar Jackson. Joe Flacco won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. In his mind, he looking around like, listen, I like Lamar. He got them MVP awards, but let's keep it a buck. I'm the one who got that trophy. I'm the one who won 3 playoff games as a wild card on the road. I'm the one who went to Denver and got dubs. I'm the one who got that trophy. And y'all got rid of me. Y'all got me up out of here. So you don't think he want to show him this is the difference, right? When you look at the Cleveland Browns, Jerry Jeudy, you should be talking. I said it on UCSS today. What you doing is you trying to hype yourself up. As a receiver, as a playmaker, you better be understanding that you really better come back and redeem yourself. Because I could see Harold Fanning Jr. dropping the ball that was a little low to the left, but he hauled in most of his targets. You did not, my good sir. The 4th down, the slant route on your shoulders was nasty work. And on top of that, you had an interception go off your hands. Cedric Tillman is not that good, in my opinion. He's regular at best. You are saying that you are one of them ones. You got mad when you weren't one of the 30 best receivers, right? You got mad at that. I need you to see what we're doing. The game plan is very simple. The Cleveland Browns are not going to be able to come in here and run this football like that. Zach Jackson said it. You got 2 smallish running backs, and I don't know if you ain't Quinshon Judkins was at practice, but I don't believe he's going to play. And if he doesn't play, you're not getting nothing out of Bumby. High tipping Jerome Ford gave you nothing. Dylan Sampson, he was all right catching the ball out of the backfield, and I'll say he did a really nice job. But all that running through the middle, nope. By the way, did not like the run blocking. Didn't like it. Didn't like the run blocking. DeJuan Jones, 40-some% in the run game. The Cleveland Browns is not 2020 Cleveland Browns. The best opportunity they got is they might want to get Isaiah Bond, dust it off, get him together. Kevin Stefanski's going to have a masterful game plan. And besides what we're talking about, go back to last year. Go back to last year and what Jameis Winston did. 3 touchdowns, 300 plus on the Ravens. What you got to realize is Joe and your boy, what's the name? Jameis is the same. Double J is the same thing. They giveth and they taketh away. You're going to have to be okay with that. You just hope Joe don't give away more than he put on the board. So the game plan is this. You go after the secondary. Make them make you stop throwing the rock. And I know you say, well, he's 40 years old. How long can he live that way? Joe Flacco this year has to live like he living on the edge. You only live once, Joe. Your best asset is the fact that you will throw the ball in the coverage and not blink. And you got a good enough arm to get it there. You're not going to run away from nobody. You're a statue in the pocket. But if you can stand back there and deliver, and they can give you a couple of extra seconds, they can be had. You take a look at the defense. By the way, defense, put your name in the sky. Myles Garrett is one of them. You're looking at an all-time great right now. You're looking at one of the best to ever do it right now. Understand that, Cleveland Browns fans. You might as well, sometimes when I watch LeBron James, I log it away and say, man, I was watching one of the best to ever do it. When I watch Kyrie Irving dribble the ball, I say, dang, he's one of the best to ever handle it. Hey, Donovan Mitchell, or dude under 6 foot, dude, he do it. One of the best. Myles Garrett is one of those guys. TJ Watt is not in this level. Max Crosby is not in this level. And by the way, Micah Parsons he close, but it ain't really that close. When Myles Garrett at the top of his game, it is what it is. He's just him. If you can see what they're doing, if they can continue to get pressure, if they can stop Derrick Henry in the backfield, you can't let him get a full head of steam because it's going to be a long night. But if guys are pushing the pocket, working the run on the way to the pass, and if they can get Lamar Jackson, which is a tough task, off the field and keep gap integrity and not letting them run around, Cleveland Browns traditionally play him decently. Greg Newsome, you going to have a day too? Hey, let me get a day too. Greg Newsome, you did it once and you do it twice. Those are my keys to victory. And by the way, most importantly, Kevin Stefanski, Jim Schwartz. This game is no game for you to be playing conservative. If Jim Schwartz has any sort of work that he has been holding in his back pocket, you got to empty the closet. You got to come with all the work. Exotic blitzes. I love the little twist and text that you did when Myles Garrett came running down the highway right down the middle and blasting your boy Joe Burrow. If you got some of that in your ammunition, go ahead and get it ready. And by the way, when it comes to the special teams, hey, Kevin Stefanski, if it's 4th and 4, we going for it. Anything under 4 yards, we going for it. We're going for it. I'm not trying to see no kicks. If it's anything over 40 yards, I'm sorry. If it ain't a game winner, we're going for it. So it's a great opportunity to pull out all the stops. We not have a running game, so reverses, all that good stuff is right in there. You got any flea flickers? You got any double passes? You got any tricks? Because that's what it's going to take. You're going to have to unempty all of the stockpile of your weapons and get it done. And if they do that, surprisingly, the Cleveland Browns could beat the Baltimore Ravens. Remember what I always say. Every NFL game comes down to how many you plays, 3 or 4 here or there. Did you make them or didn't you? The Cleveland Browns last weekend, they didn't make those plays. 2 interceptions, 2 missed kicks. That was the game. Do they get the majority of those this week? Let's get to your comments. Let's get to them. What we got here? Let's see what we got. Really? It's easy to say move on when you're not from Cleveland. Oh, no, I'm from here. I'm from Northeast Ohio. I'm from Northeast Ohio. I was born at the Hall of Fame city. As a matter of fact, I was old enough to remember. I ain't as old as Andy Baskin. Shout out to him and Baskin and Phelps, but I'm 43 years old. When the Browns moved, I was in the thick of my high school career, in the thick of it. And we didn't have no games. We had nothing. I couldn't watch TV. The Ravens, the Steelers, and the Bengals was on. You either watched Ohio State or you came to watch the McKinley Bulldogs. I'm glad for the McKinley to come in and do that. My thought process is this, Lawrence. Here's how you move on. Here's how you move on. You got to put numbers on the board. When you move on, I always learn, if you're happy in the relationship you got right now, you ain't worried about your ex. I wish all of them the best of luck because I'm good where I'm at right now. Actually, I'm winning. I'm up 10. When you up 10 and you put numbers on the board, don't nobody care what the Ravens is doing. The problem is the Ravens been celebrating for 30 years and you've been crying for 30 years because we ain't got nothing. We ain't got nothing to show for it. We ain't got a quarterback, a franchise quarterback. All we got is a new stadium in 2029. So you don't get to memories. You got to make your memories, and memories, good memories, only come by success. Tremaine says nothing Cleveland does will prosper until they treat Shador right. Hey, I tell you what, they still in the building. Hello, guys. There you go, Neil Gray. By the way, I will say this. Nothing Cleveland does when it comes to quarterbacks will happen unless they learn to evaluate, and unless they learn that you got to give an opportunity to show if you got a franchise quarterback. You can't just get one. You got to give them an opportunity to show what they can do, and other teams have done that. Neil Gray, winning cures everything. Just go out and win. The Browns are worried about the wrong thing. They should be focused on winning the Super Bowl until we make that our priority. That's it. Do you care? Do you care? Here, let me prove a point. When the Browns went to Pittsburgh and they smoked the Steelers, and Ben Roethlisberger was looking around here, Pouncey was on the sideline crying, Myles Garrett, you had Denzel Ward, you had Chubb, you had Kareem Hunt, you had one of the best offensive lines we've seen. Did anybody sit up there and cry about the Baltimore Ravens being the Ravens? No. You know why? You were winning. When you are winning, you don't care nothing about that little stuff. It's easy money. It's easy money. You don't care about that at all because you're winning. And until you put the emphasis on the right things, which is executing, winning, evaluating, playing in the clutch, you're going to worry about tertiary items like this. Because worried about the Ravens and them 30, that ain't going to get you no win. The Quags, the problem is our offensive line. Offensive line is old. Receivers don't catch. We don't have running backs. And cherry on the top, we got a shook kicker, not a shook kicker. That's a double. That was a triple entendre. I'm in trouble. Not to mention the problems in the front office. These are the things that we got to worry about, guys. These are the things. The offensive line, you got 4 offensive linemen under contract. You know what I'm saying? Navalia Brown. Hello, guys. I appreciate you pulling up. Never Bloom. G. Bush, what's up? I appreciate you. Cash considerations and pick swaps. That's a great name. A completely different team with zero motion, no blueprint or origin at all. The soul left the Baltimore and the second soul never appears. Easy to say move on when you're not even from here. Well, I keep trying to tell you, like, that don't apply to me. Because here's what I always say. When it comes, this was said in overtime. This was said in overtime. I only got 3. When you say I am, the Duke of Knee Jerk and the Kool-Aid Mafia came from the fact that I am the epitome of, I don't root for other teams. When people ask me who my team is, I say the Browns. I said it in overtime. Ant got the Broncos. McNuggets, even if the Giants suck, they got the Giants. And EP Steve, he got the Eagles. We know Bull got the Bengals. Dustin played for the Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Buffalo Bills in Ohio State. He could pick one at will. Tyvus done paid for every team on the Eastern Seashore. Shout out to Tyvus. Right? Like, they play for Ohio State. Ohio State might as well be a professional team here. Right? Jason Lloyd has told you he doesn't have a soul. His words, not mine. And the only really super fans like that is me and Earl. I came from the shadows of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We huddled around the Browns on my dad's little tape recorder box set he got from like a pawn shop. It was like a cassette tape thing, and it had a TV with the rabbit ears. And we used to mess around and get the feed from Youngstown, right? Youngstown, because we couldn't get the feed because it was blacked out. We was in the blackout region. So guess what? If the Browns didn't sell out games, you didn't get to watch them on TV like that. So when people say it's easy to say get over it because you're not here, that's patently false. The reason I can say get over it is this. If you think other teams care about the Cleveland Browns moving, bro, it's getting late in the game. Them folks don't care nothing about that. And so you go out here and prove that you are a competent team that people are willing to watch, and you going to go out here and play well. People don't care about that. All we're going to end up doing is crying in our beers every week. We'll keep crying in our beers, or we gonna compete. Because after what I saw last week, nobody should be talking about the Baltimore Ravens' 30-year anniversary. You should be catching the football and making special team plays. That's it. Miss Kennedy the Cat. This is the first sport thing I've seen since noon yesterday, only watching because of your tweet, which I liked. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know, we be going through a lot in America. I'll just leave it at that, man. We going for a lot. Let's see. Mr. Miami, G-Serious question. If the Browns don't want Shador, why not cut him and see if nobody really wants him? They are using him like I don't like to break this. I don't like that slave word, but they're using him to be in commercials and ads, but we can't get any reps. Let me tell you about this, Mr. Miami. Let me tell you the way it works. And this is a good one here because I'll give you this. This for me is I used to be, when I used to go and I watch people play and I would be and watch people in the league, I would be frustrated because I didn't know what they was doing or what they was looking at, things like that. Like, what are they doing? Why is it like this? To me, I'll give you a couple of things. There's a difference between the media stuff and it's a difference between real football stuff. And when you look at the media stuff, I try to tell people a lot of the stuff people be printing and doing being for clicks, right? Like the stuff about there's some stuff about him wearing a backwards baseball hat, or there's some stuff talking about it has to be wild before he even gets to play. Y'all got to realize some people be doing that because people understand that if I put him on the front of anything, it's going to get massive amounts of clicks. You got to protect your energy sometimes, right? And you got to keep the energy the same way he keep the energy. If he ain't tripping about it and he gonna sit and wait and he can get his opportunity, then if you believe in what he could do and you believe in his skill set and you think that the cream will rise to the top and when he gets in wherever it's gonna be, he gonna ball out, then you should be cool with it, right? Because sometimes it ain't about it. It's about timing, about when you get an opportunity, what you gonna do with it. I always give you worst case scenario, right? So say, for instance, he don't even play to 5 games left in the season. People may be mad and upset, but here's the thing. That means everybody else that came before him exhausted their opportunity. Now he got his. And if you've exhausted your opportunity and I go last, sometimes that's all you need. The last impression is the most powerful one. Put it to you like this: if you got Joe Flacco and he go 1-6, and you at the end of the year, who remembers what Joe Flacco did? Nobody. If you get Dylan Gabriel and he come in and he don't perform very well, not wishing that he don't perform, just saying it's going to be what he gonna do regardless. If he come in and do that, then what? Then you get your opportunity, right? So sometimes it's about a level of patience, right? And I will say this just to keep it all the way real about the level of football, right? In football, I think there is some things that you can learn from what you're watching. The thing about Joe Flacco is, and Shador said this himself, he's seen a lot. And Joe did see a lot. When you see Joe Flacco going out there playing, he don't have some of the same talent as younger dudes. He can't run like them. He ain't spry like them. But what he do know is he done seen everything. And the one thing that Shador can learn or Dylan Gabriel can learn is that when y'all get in these games, you're going to have some stuff happen. Your receivers ain't going to catch the ball all the time. You can't pout about it. You can't show no emotions. None. You can't, oh my gosh, none of that. You can't, hey, Dylan, you can't get mad and have no crazy comments. Shador, you can't have your body language be in a certain way. When you get in that game and something happen, you got to deal with it. You got to get up on that podium and you got to be uplifting and you got to keep it pushing. Sometimes you're going to have to throw it in anticipation. It ain't going to look like it's there. That touchdown Joe threw, there wasn't nobody open. But he knew what the coverage was and he knew what the route was. And sometimes you got to understand. And the third thing that's more powerful that he can show for everything, and they can show that really hits is this. Sometimes it's okay to take the free money, right? If you ain't got to throw downfield, the Cleveland Browns could have beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and they didn't do nothing extravagant. It wasn't no crazy deep passes. It was checkdowns. You know what he said? Okay, Dylan Sampson is out there. Ain't nothing on my first read. Dude, sideline. Go ahead, work. Give your other teammates an opportunity to prove themselves. And what I mean by that is I ain't got to do it to him. Let me just go ahead. Let me get Harold Fan in the rock. Go ahead, make somebody miss, big dog. Hey, I'm going to give you a 50-50 ball. Go ahead and make a move, Jerry Jeudy. Sometimes Cedric Tillman, it might bounce off his hands. But that's the game. That's the live to fight another day mentality. So one thing that they can learn, him and Dylan Gabriel, is, hey, this is the way you got to go about it, and watching how you prepare. It's different. Watch how they prepare. Watch that film study. So right now, I want them ramping up. I want both of them ramping up, ready to go, looking, watching how it moves. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes sitting ain't all that bad. I'll give you an example before we move on to the right. We got a couple super chats I want to get to too. When I was 30 years old, I wanted my shot in radio so bad. When I was 30, 31, 32, I wanted my shot. But what I realized was it's different from doing one show once a week for a couple hours. You can have the best material in the world. You got the best material in the world for 4 hours on a Saturday. That's the only show you got to prepare for all week, right? Rest of the week, I got a regular job. So you're like, you're the coldest to ever do it. But what I had to realize was, guess what? Them other dudes is doing 4 or 5 hour shows every day. So the tool and the trick was, how do I get myself up? How do I have fire material every day? You know what I'm saying? Then there's levels to it. Sometimes you're going to be on a panel. You got to have something hot to say every 3 to 5 seconds. You may sit there and you may not get to talk for a minute, but what you got? Can you do a 4 hour show where you ain't got no calls and nobody? You can sit there and talk to yourself and be entertaining. Can you do updates? Can you do analysis? All those things. It takes a while to build all that. And just like a quarterback, it's levels and pockets you got to get to. Sometimes it's going to be a game where it's check down. Sometimes it's a game where you got to take some shots. Sometimes it's a game where you like, listen, I got to give myself a little more time and scramble around a little bit. But you got to understand all of those things. All of those things, that's a week-to-week thing. That's different in the moment. That's the most difficult part. Let's get to the super chat. Let's see. Yoshi Doshi, the Browns have their core in the roster. Don't ruin the talent you have for the talent you want. Develop the quarterbacks and the others, then reinforce them. I like that. I like that. Figure out what you got. You ain't got to do all that If you don't know what you need until you check the cupboards, right? You don't know what you need till you check the cupboard. How many of y'all who goes grocery shopping without seeing what's in the refrigerator? Usually you go grocery shopping based on, man, I went to the refrigerator. I ain't had what I want. I ain't got no butter in there. Ain't no eggs. Hey, where all the salt and pepper at? Man, ain't nothing like trying to cook up a meal with no salt and pepper. You out of here. I see why Columbus got in that boat and went around the world. They was talking about them spice islands. I was like, dang, why everybody so crazy about spices? You ever try to eat some meat without no salt? Devastating. Check what's in your cupboard, and you got to do inventory. How much Kool-Aid do I need in my the vodka this week? Now, I always must say I endorse safe drinking. If you are of age, never drink and drive, and never drink with an open bottle throughout a Browns game. You get ugly. Doggy by one. I watched the evolution of the black quarterback, and they don't and they had Donovan McNabb sharing his was supposed to be picked up by Cleveland, but here that they did not want to start back off with a quarterback speaks volumes about assessment. I've always said this too. When it comes to quarterback, there's a couple of things that you have to be okay. A quarterback has to be a person that the organization is invested in. What I mean by this is, if you're not invested in a quarterback, you want the quarterback that when you the play caller, you dreaming of plays for your dog. When you at home and you eating dinner, you in your mind cooking up one of the craziest route combinations because you like, oh yeah, we got so-and-so one-on-one backside. We about to cook this up. I got faith in everything over here. I know he can make that throw. We gonna set this up. We set this up all on the 15 scripted plays. You need that level of excited, right? You gotta want to see him win and succeed. Like that's your dog. Like you ever been in high school and you see your friend on TV, whether it's high school football, basketball, baseball, they from your city. You done ate birthday cake with them. You want to see them win. You like, let's go. You got the jersey wherever they go. Now I sound like I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders. Just joking. Wherever he go, you want it. You got to want to see him win that much because that's going to bring the best out of you as a play caller, and it's going to bring the best out of the general manager because when the general manager is sitting up looking around and they say what we need, oh, I got to give me a left tackle. We got to protect a big dog. We need to run the game. We need to bolster the running game. We can't be having them drop back 96 times. Nope. That's what we got to do. Oh, look, we need a deep threat. We need the deep threat on this one. We got to stretch the field. People crowding the box right now. You got to have that level. And when that's why people say, where does it matter where you chose somebody? Where you chose somebody, tell you what they think about it. Think about the difference, and I give you a relationship analysis all the time. It's a difference between the girl you've been trying to date forever, and she finally say, yeah, and you take her out to eat. Where are you going to take her? You taking her to your best what you got. You going in your back pocket. You like, listen, I got to spend $100 on this. Oh, girl, I've been trying to talk to shorty for a minute. Or it's the girl who you know like you. She around your block. You grew up with her a little bit. You know, she always be around. You might go on a date. You might go get some sandwiches or something and talk and clown, but you ain't going to make sure you have no fit and you going to no steakhouse. That ain't how it be. So that's how it is with the draft. Like if they take you at a certain place, they going to be they love you. And think about it. You talk about Donovan McNabb. Who we have? Andy Reid. And Andy Reid was excited to get Donovan McNabb because he cooked up and they went to 4 NFC championships, right? So it matters where you go, and it matters if people believe in you, right? Because when people believe in you, you bring out the best in each other. Yoshi Doshi, I put $1 on Junkins winning Rookie of the Year. Enough reps? This goes back into what I was just saying just now. They love him. They like him. They like him. They like him a lot. So if they like him a lot and they give him enough reps, if he's cleared to play, by the time he's cleared and he clears at the NFL, if they don't suspend him, they're going to be spamming him. Matter of fact, pick him up in your roster. Pick him up in your everyday roster. Let me get to some of these. There we go. Let me get to some of your picks, right? The Difference Media. G, you a big inspiration. Appreciate you, big bro. I appreciate all y'all. I appreciate all y'all. Y'all be pulling up. Let's see. Here we go. Brass and Grass, 24-10 Ravens. Browns need to establish run, get turnovers on defense, and finally score more than 20 points. That's a big part of it. Katie and Stevenson. Or that means Caden. That might be Caden. 34-14 Ravens win. Rusty Rotors. G. Bush. Key to victory is lead foot. Miles hitting those field goals. Rob Brown, 0-2 Ravens win next week. Grass and Brass, 0-3 versus Packer week 3. Thomas White, 24-21. We finally got somebody. That's a little optimistic. There you go. You drinking the Kool-Aid. We need turnovers and stopping their run game. We need that. At G. Bush, talk to Bernie Kosar, give him these peptides for his cognition. Simax, Salac, and Epithalin. I don't know if those work. I can't endorse any drugs. Please consult your physician anytime you're taking your supplements. But Bernie, if you're watching, there you go. You're stand up. 290 Bridge Boy. We don't care. Look how y'all doing, Shador. Let's go Ravens. Man, you dirty for that. You dirty. Come on, man. You could have at least said, I'm waiting to Shador play. You can't say let's go Ravens. Wow, man. Let's get to another super chat. Also about the backwards hat. It had me thinking and looking back at the combine. Jackson Dart had his hat backwards and diamond out. Also, they did the same thing with C.J. Stroud during his combine. Hey, listen, stop stealing my material. Tune into the Barbershop tomorrow. I'm going to have a whole segment on that. You know, we had to do it. Give me a couple more of these. Let's see. We got a couple more. Hey, G. Bush, we'll take it. Amos, I appreciate you. Rob Cunningham, what's up, man? Rihan Malik also need to throw the deep ball. I agree with you. 245 people in here. We went a little over an hour. We had to give you some, we're usually on Tuesday. We'll be back to the regularly scheduled program on Tuesday. So we had to give you some extra work today. So 242, hit that like button. We appreciate everybody. Here's another super chat. Let's see. Paul, the true believer. Ravens don't respect y'all like the rest of the NFL because y'all touted for slightly over mediocre at best quarterback to start your season and bragged about how good y'all lost to the Bengals. I didn't like that, Paul, the true believer. I didn't like none of that. That was nasty work. If you've listened to me on the Mondays, I don't like none of that. All that we look good and all of that. If you take this out and you look at this and you look at it half, I am not for none of that at all. It's about people don't respect your gangster unless you win games. And by the way, if we want to sit here and talk about, the Baltimore Ravens and how people was moving and the Ravens 30 years ago, I could go back and look and we went 1-31. I was here when we was 1-31 and wasn't no UCSS, wasn't none of this. It was 1-31, and we stripped the whole organization down to the studs. Now, I refuse to do that. If they want to have a rebuild year, let me just tell y'all something. They want to have a rebuild year, and they think that we're gonna just sweep it under the rug. No. The way you play matters. This ain't fantasy football in your fantasy league, your keeper league. Way you play matters. So hopefully the Cleveland Browns, they've been talking spicy. We'll see if they got it going. With that being said, you never know when G. Bush might show up, radio, television, internet. But if you want the fresh take on sports, I keep the Clippers with me. And if you want, I'll give you that fresh cut. And no matter what I say, always remember this. I only got one team I root for, and it is the Browns. So even if I get mad at them and I don't like who they started quarterback or I don't like who they picked here or there, it's always, first and foremost, go Browns. You have a good rest of your day. And as always, hit that like and subscribe button. Peace.